iPhone 17 finally solved the biggest flaw of the base iPhone, the display. Now, with the promotion, it can compete head-to-head with the Galaxy S25. The Galaxy still has an extra telephoto lens, but the iPhone brings a better ultra-wide. I'm going to test that along with battery life in a day in the life in Paris. I charged both phones 200% overnight. The iPhone 17 is a bit larger than the S25 and weighs 15 grams more. I took this video of the stunning view of my hotel room over the city with the iPhone ultra-wide lens. The main lens of the S25 is 24mm, while the iPhone is 26. Therefore, the photos are a bit tighter. The iPhone also has only two cameras, an ultra-wide and a wide on the back. And I should say, I really dig the design and the blue color. I also love the red color of the Galaxy S25 and the triple camera system, which houses an extra telephoto lens. I went to have breakfast at the hotel and made sure to pick some cheese and baguette. I put both phones to play YouTube on Wi-Fi. Both phones have a 5G SIM card in them. iPhone is running iOS 26 and Galaxy One UI 8. The weather was a bit gloomy. Right now, both phones are focusing on the windows and not on the Eiffel Tower, and touching the tower also didn't change the focus. The Galaxy has a Pro Video mode where you can take manual control over the video. In that mode, I usually create really nice focus pools where you focus from foreground to background. The iPhone default camera app doesn't have these options. I took this picture with the main lens and the colors are very close. Galaxy is a bit more vivid. Also, the Galaxy photo looks colder, while iPhone has a warmer tone. Also, since Galaxy has a telephoto camera, you can zoom better into subjects. By the time I finished breakfast, the Galaxy was at 95%, while iPhone was at 99%. iPhone usually loses the first few percent later. I then decided to go with some friends to visit the city and track my activity using Komoot. I really like these colorful signs of restaurants in the city. I took this picture and both photos look more or less similar. The iPhone, in this case, is a bit more contrasty though. Also thanks to this random person that let us take a picture. For selfies, iPhone definitely wins since now it has a rectangular sensor, which means you can take horizontal selfies. But Galaxy wins in the telephoto department. For example, this 10x zoom picture is better on the Galaxy, and you can even zoom up to 30 times on it. The rain has started to become stronger, and we sheltered in a bakery. Right now, the Galaxy is at 78%, while the iPhone is at 84% battery left. I then put both phones to play YouTube, but this time on 5G. By the time I finished the amazing croissant, the Galaxy was at 74%, while the iPhone was at 80%. We then decided to go visit the Eiffel Tower and navigated on both phones using Google Maps. One thing that the Galaxy can do and iPhone cannot is shooting in log, and this gives me the opportunity to color grade the footage. For example, here I try to give it a retro look. On the other hand, the iPhone has a better ultra-wide camera, which can not only take macro shots, but also is wider and has more megapixels. I really feel the Galaxy should upgrade the ultra-wide camera in the next iteration. For the main lens, I found both phones to have more or less the same quality, at least in daylight. The iPhone is a bit closer and more contrasty, while Galaxy processing makes the phones more vibrant. But I personally prefer that vibrancy. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer. For stabilization, both are doing a great job while walking, and I didn't notice any jitter in either of them. We finally arrived at the Eiffel Tower to take some pictures. For video, with the 2x zoom, the sky is more dramatic on the iPhone, while Galaxy's skies is softer and more blue. For the picture, the colors are different. The Galaxy has a more golden color for the tower, but the iPhone has a more brownish one. I also took this mandatory picture of holding the pizza tower. The Galaxy has a third telephoto lens as we talked about before, and that can be very helpful when you are trying to take a zoom picture. For example, in this 10x zoom, the Galaxy photo is much sharper. I particularly like to have a telephoto lens when I'm traveling. By the time we finished taking photos, the Galaxy was at 66%, while the iPhone was at 72%. One of the reasons you might want to pick the iPhone 17 compared to the Galaxy S25 is that the iPhone supports Magsafe accessories without the need of a case, and there are rumors that the Galaxy S26 is going to have the same functionality. For Galaxy, you simply need to use a case if you want to attach it to a wireless power bank or wireless charger. The Galaxy has 15 watts wireless charging speed, while iPhone is 25 watts. That's exactly how much power the Ugreen MagFlow wireless power bank gives you. The power bank can charge the iPhone 17 Pro Max from 0 to 50% in only 38 minutes. I brought this nice looking power bank with me on my trip to Paris, and it is from a company called Ugreen, which is the sponsor of today's video. It supports 25 watts charging. It is a 10,000 mAh wireless power bank that can power up your iPhone the whole day. You can also use the built-in cable, which doubles as a strap for the power bank to charge your phone or connect your phone with the extra USB-C ports. There is also a minimalistic display that shows you how much battery is left and whether your phone is charging. I also brought their little 25 watts MagFlow 2-in-1 magnetic wireless charger. It is super small and can also be folded to fit into your pocket. You can charge your phone on the top part and your headphones or watch on the bottom. I put the links in the description. And thanks to Ugreen for sponsoring this video. I use their products daily and the quality is simply top notch. We continued our way back to the hotel and said goodbye to the Eiffel Tower. When I arrived to have a quick dinner before the flight, the Galaxy was at 54%, while the iPhone was at 62%. The dinner was nothing special in contrast to the dinner the night before, where we went to the restaurant with the amazing view of the tower. There I also tested the selfie video of the phones, and once again the selfie camera of the iPhone with the new square sensor is a game changer. In this picture of Tonya with the main lens, I found iPhone processing more pleasing, and Tonya's skin is too magenta on the Galaxy. I generally find iPhone doing a better job when it comes to portraits too. I think it is not only because of the processing, but also the newer lens compared to the old Galaxy one. Tonya here is popping more on the iPhone in my opinion. For video, they are closer though, Galaxy is more vivid and iPhone more contrasty and muted. They both also support the cinematic mode where they blur the background, and they both are doing a great job in my opinion in this shot. After I finished dinner, I went through the mazes that the French call the metro, and I took the train to go back to the airport. I was lucky that there were no strikes. I arrived at the airport a couple of hours before my flight to make sure I didn't miss it since I was on the waiting list due to overbooking. By the time I arrived, the Galaxy was at 46%, while the iPhone was at 55%. Fortunately, I was able to get a boarding pass and didn't miss my flight. Here, for the sunset picture, the Galaxy is raising the shadows more, while the iPhone picture is darker. Also, the Galaxy sky is magenta, while the iPhone is more yellow and orange with a green tone. In the airplane, I tried to organize the pictures that I took during the day. By the time we arrived in Vienna airport, the Galaxy had 39%, while the iPhone had 46%. I then took the bus to get back home. In this video, if you look closely, you see there are a lot of dots on the screen for the iPhone footage. It reminded me of the footage I took the night before, where the iPhone shows sparkles in the middle of the sky from the Eiffel Tower, and this is a problem that I've seen on both Pixel and iPhone cameras, where the night reflections are horrible due to the way the glass is positioned and its material. For pictures, you won't notice this really since the iPhone corrects the photo in post-processing. The iPhone also has a sharper and better ultra-wide camera at night. The Galaxy takes better zoom picture though at 3x zoom compared to the iPhone. Back to Vienna, and with the main lens, I would argue the iPhone processing is cleaner here compared to the Galaxy. By the time I got home, the Galaxy was at 34%, while the iPhone was at 42%. I then let both phones upload all the pictures of the last days to Google Cloud. By the time the upload was finished, the Galaxy was at 29%, while the iPhone was at 39%. Both phones can run absolutely anything you want on the phone and are smooth, especially since they both have a 120Hz display. I ran Geekbench, and the Galaxy got a slightly better multi-core score, but the iPhone was better at single-core. So you can assume iPhone is a bit better in some tasks compared to the Galaxy. For the final battery test, I ran Google Meet and I let the phones talk to each other. By the time the call was finished, the Galaxy was at 17%, while the iPhone was at 30%. I then went to sleep, and when I woke up 7 hours later, the Galaxy was at 11%, while the iPhone was at 26% battery left. They both had around 4 hours of screen time. This is the first time I see the iPhone base model get such a better battery life than the Galaxy base model. This is likely due to the combination of the new promotional screen, the more efficient chipsets, and better optimization. I would say the iPhone 17 this year is a great value. The display is really gorgeous and is finally 120Hz. And the selfie camera is a game changer, whether you are into taking selfies or video calls. It also supports Magsafe, which is nice. The Galaxy S25 is still cheaper in most markets. It is slightly lighter, it has an extra telephoto camera, and One UI is more feature-rich. Another option you can go for is the Google Pixel 10. If you want to see a comparison of the Pixel 10 versus Galaxy S25 in a day in the life, you can watch this video next. Thanks for tuning into Tecmo, and I will see you in the next one.